How you make a sourdough starter. For your sourdough starter, all it is equal parts flour and water. So I use white bread flour. I've tried it enough times now to kind of know what to do and what not to do. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of the flour just into a little jam jar like this. This one, this size is perfect for starting off, but you will have to move to a bigger one because hopefully it's going to rise and be active, and that's what we want. And then I found that bread flour is far better than plain flour, so if you can find bread flour or strong flour, get that. And then also for water, use filtered water, don't use water from the tap, or else use bottled water. So that's what I'm using. So I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons of, did you see that? A little bit more. It should be the consistency of like wallpaper paste is what we're looking for here. Sorry about the noise. Just a tiny bit more water. So it really shouldn't be loose, like it actually should just be a thick paste, and then you know you're in the right direction. Whereas I was making it, I was following recipes online, and I was always ending up with too loose of a thing, and it just of a mixture, and it just wasn't like, I went through tons of them and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And then I was reading up online that saying someone saying about the filtered water, and that made a huge difference. And also the quality of flour. For a long time I was using plain flour, just a basics one from the supermarket, and it's not good enough. So now they have, like, it doesn't look much, you have to see like that, just press it down. Let's see if you can see it, you only have about that much in it. So just press it down to the bottom, and then what you can do is you can either get a little whiteboard marker and mark on the bottom, or else what I do is I get a piece of kitchen towel and I just double it over like this, and I secure it with a little elastic band. So you have it here, it's like a little shepherd from the nativity play. So you just secure it like that. No, that should be okay. Like, oh, for God's sake, this one's a bit stretched because I used it on my bigger jar earlier. So if we just secure that, yeah. So I have a little whiteboard marker, and you can just mark, so I can see here, there is the line. So this is going to take about a week to get to where it needs to be to use. So I'll update it every day and I'll show you here. And all you do every day is you feed it and you discard some. So you can take a tablespoon out, add another 2 tablespoons of flour and enough water to make another paste. And then what you should start seeing is bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. And hopefully then it will start to rise. By day 2, I wouldn't expect to see a huge rise. So definitely by maybe 4 or 5, you should see something. But it does take a while, so I'll update you. We are on now day 3 of making our starter. So you can see this is where on day 1 I left the mark. That's where it was, and then it's after rising quite a bit. You can see there it's quite bubbly. You see that? And then also in here, I don't know if you can see that, it's really quite bubbly and there's a bit of water in it. That's normal, don't worry about it. And it's also a bit smelly, which is totally normal. So, but if by day 3 or even 4, if it's come up a little bit, then you know you're on the right track. Don't do anything before that. So what you do then is just mix this in, this hooch thing, they call it hooch, the little kind of grey liquid that forms on top of it. And don't be like, the smell, it stinks of, like, I looked it up online and some people say it smells like gym socks, and it actually does. It stinks. My boyfriend came into the kitchen one of the days when I was when I was making a sourdough starter, and he goes, "What is that smell?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just making sourdough." He goes, "Well, you make it outside, it stinks." So yeah, I'm just going to stir this in. Now it will take you long. So for this part, it's best to have a digital scale. So I'm just going to pour in our starter, all of it in. Some people say discard here, but I just keep it because it's so little. Now, try and get as much out as you can. You can see there it's 38 grams. So I'm going to just, or 38. So I'm just going to reset that to 0, and I have some bottled water here, and I'm just going to put in 38 grams of that too. We just mix this around, and then we get our flour. We add in the same flour, so I'm using strong bread flour again. Now we just give that a little stir, and I'm just going to stir it in this and then put it back into this little jar. So just stirring that until all the flour is incorporated. This is actually so easy. Don't be afraid of sourdough. I was, and I kept messing it up, and I was like, oh, why haven't I gotten this, and why does it look so easy? But this, the reason actually why is because I was using plain flour and I wasn't succeeding. So don't use plain flour, use strong bread flour, or strong flour. It's either called strong flour or bread flour. And try and get a decent quality one as well if you can. I buy one, Oddlums. I'll show you. And it's €4 for 2 kilos. So strong white, but this is bread flour. It's the same thing. But that's what I use. And then also bottles of water. So another factor, I think anyway, that you know, contributed to it not working out in the first place was that the water, like our tap water, is full of chlorine and God knows what else. So I just use bottled water, and it's been perfect every time. So I'm just going to put this back into our jar. Now you can see I'm just going to press down the sides so we can make a mark. And I have my marker here. I use a little whiteboard dry wipe marker, so it's easy to bring, you know, wipe off the jar when you're finished or when it's risen. So it's about there. So I'm going to cover this with just a piece of kitchen towel, like that, nothing even on top, no lid or anything, and we'll come back to this tomorrow, and that will be day 4 for us. We're at day 4 now. You can see just here is the line that we put yesterday, and then this is just some hooch that it just means it needs to be fed with more flour and water. And then look how much it has risen overnight, and you can see, don't know if you can see there, let me see the bubbles, it's not focusing. Oh yeah, you can see the bubbles there, so that's all a good sign. And then Also in here it's quite bubbly, so you're on the right track if that's what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually stir this around, and then we're going to get rid of half of this, throw it in the bin, and then we're going to put weigh what we have left, and then put equal amounts of the flour and water again, and then tomorrow again it will risen again. But so you just keep doing this until, like, it just has to be bubbly like this all the time. But this is one that I made probably about a month ago now, but I keep using it. So this is what my one looks like. So eventually you will get something like this. I keep it in this because I use so much of it. I make sourdough every day, so the recipe calls for 150 grams, so it's quite a lot. So I never actually discard it. Look how, you see, it's so cool, isn't it? So I never actually throw mine away. I just use it, then weigh what's left, then put in equal amounts of flour and water again, and then, you know, you could do that in the morning if you needed the recipe. Say you're making the bread in the evening, you do it in the morning, and then by the time the evening comes around it'll be ready. Or the same, like if you're doing it the following morning, you make it the night before. So yeah, that's it really. Like, it's actually so simple. I don't know, I think what was delaying my progress was the flour and water situation. So definitely get good flour, use bottled water. That's it really. And just keep an eye on it. Like, it's never going to really die. If you're going away on holiday, say, you can put this in the fridge. I did it I was away for a couple of weeks ago, and I put it in the fridge. When I came home, I fed it with water and flour again, and it's perfect. So it never really goes bad. But if you're going away, put a lid on it and put it in the fridge, and it'll be perfect to go again. The most annoying part about this is that it just takes so long to get going in the first place. But once you have it, like, you're never, you know, going to have to do it a million times. So the only reason why I kind of know so well how to do it is because I failed so many times, because I was using plain flour, which I don't recommend doing. Use strong flour or bread flour, bottled water. That's it. On Amazon you can actually buy sourdough jars with glass lids, but I used an old pasta sauce. I showed it to you before I switched the jug. I used this, and I had sourdough in that, and I just cover it with a piece of kitchen roll. I don't put a lid on it, and then I just marked it with either put a rubber band around where you've started off, and then you can see how much it's risen, or else put a dry wipe marker or a whiteboard marker, and you'll be able to see as well. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I wish I knew some of this stuff when I was starting off, because it was so frustrating, because people just made it look so easy. And while I know it's easy to me now, at the time I was like, oh, I can't do this. I just don't want to know. And like, why is everyone so good at sourdough and bloody homemaking and all this, and I can't just make the starter? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you start making with your sourdough starter, because I'm looking for ideas. So enjoy your day. Goodbye.